Hey everyone! Welcome back to our channel. I know what you're thinking. They look put together.
Yeah.
For
Stunning?
what?
Amazing.
Seeing us from the head up, we just look so good.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's the
Bridget-
lipstick for me. You can really tell from the back.
And the eyeshadow, look at that. Ooh. Did you do that yourself?
Absolutely not.
It
Mariana
looks
did
really
it.
good.
My sister did it for me. I can't
Yeah.
do makeup. But you're probably wondering, why do they look so good? Well, we are super excited because in, what time is it?
10 minutes?
22.
An hour?
8 minutes, we are going into the Silver Bell Soiree at the Festival of Trees. If for those of you who don't know, it's for the University Hospital Foundation, and we'll get into all the amazing info about it later on. But that's where we're going. How's your first Silver Bell Soiree? Is this your first one?
This is my first soiree. It's very exciting. Everybody's dressed so fancy and I feel a little out of place. But you know, we showed
She's
up.
not at all out of place.
We showed up.
Grace and
very
Dolan,
fancy.
she's ready for these
Oh
parties.
my god, yes. Please and thank you.
our
We're
next
doing
subscriber.
amazing. Imagine. We're doing amazing. Everything looks beautiful. You will see that in all our B-roll. And we're so excited to be here.
Woohoo! Hey Rochelle.
Hi.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. Reporting live.
Rochelle Sajum, live on location. Silver Bell Soiree.
We're here. I'm just kidding. It's super fun. Like Sahar was saying, it's very pretty. You'll see in the B-roll. You will or you won't. You're there or you're not. It is our first soiree as a throuple. All three of us first. It's super fun. Everyone here is dressed very beautifully. Very sparkly. I should have gotten a sparkly dress.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm actually really sad that I didn't, because I saw a couple sparkly dresses. I'm like, I don't want to be overdressed. I would have fit right in. They would have loved me here.
They would have loved
They
you
still
here.
do. Just kidding.
They're all
But yeah.
obsessed with you.
They really are. No, it's super fun. I'm excited for more people to come in and like get the atmosphere, because like last time I was in the actual venue, it was like before the doors opened. So it's still beautiful, but you know, you kind of need to get like the effect of everyone in there. So I'm pumped to see that. But
Perfect.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
of course.
All right, welcome everyone. Here we are at the Silver Bell Soiree, and we have the pleasure of speaking with Dr.Jodi Abbott. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, thank you.
So can we start off with you just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, Jodi Abbott. I'm the president and CEO of the University Hospital Foundation, and just really pleased to be here tonight to raise money for the University of Alberta Hospital.
And so we've heard that the
UHF supports healthcare here in Alberta and around the world. What does that mean exactly?
What it means is we're able to do and support research as well as new innovations in clinical care that reach beyond Edmonton, that reach beyond Alberta. And a couple of examples in that is we are funding right now an amazing piece of research around Alzheimer's, where the clinicians and the researchers have been able to reverse memory loss, which if this can turn into the right chemical compound, we'll actually be able to cure Alzheimer's around the world. It's pretty phenomenal. So another one is our work in diabetes. We've done a lot of work in the area of diabetes. We have funded the stroke ambulance, which was the first of its kind in Canada, and now others look to us from around the world. And it's really because of the funding and innovation that we can fund that we can impact things around the world.
That's so incredible. And so you're speaking about funding and funding being a big part of the reason of why we can do what we can, why the University Hospital Fund can do what they can do. And so what role do donors play in the University Hospital Fund?
Yeah, donors are absolutely critical to health and healthcare, period. What happens is our healthcare system, of course, is funded by the government, and typically innovation and kind of pushing the limits on new things that can come from health come from foundation dollars. So being able to have our community and donors step forward to help, for example, cure disease or help to improve clinical care is really critical. And we've seen new things happen in healthcare because of our donor community.
That's beautiful. And so in regards to the University Hospital Foundation, what was kind of the catalyst or the reason in which your work with the foundation started?
Okay, so my background was healthcare before, so I was with Alberta Health Services many years ago. Then I went to post-secondary education, and so I worked in post-secondary. And what I love about working at the foundation is we're kind of at the nexus of both, because we work within the academic health center. So what that means is the University of Alberta, all of their researchers and new clinicians, so people being trained in medicine and nursing and other areas of care, are working directly in our hospital. So we're known as an academic health center or a teaching hospital. And so being able to combine my knowledge of healthcare and my knowledge of post-secondary, it's a phenomenal place to be, because it's really being able to be at that intersection that allows us to be a catalyst for new things to happen and new discoveries to happen in health.
May I ask what led you to healthcare in the first place? Like what inspired you to now be in the position you are?
You know what, I spent many years in different aspects of healthcare, primarily in community-based organizations. I didn't pick to go into healthcare. I got interested because of the people and the purpose. And so I've got kind of a winding road career, but it really came to being able to make a really big difference and being a catalyst for change.
That's very inspirational.
Thank you.
And so coming back to here tonight, the Silver Bell Soiree, the Festival of Trees, we're supporting not one but two causes this year. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yes, so the two causes that we're supporting, and we're hoping to raise $2.4 million overall through Festival of Trees. One is the fourth floor atrium. And what happens is right now, if you have a loved one in care, sometimes you have a major emergency happen. You bring someone in, they go into emergency, and let's say they need surgery. As a family member or a friend, you are like, okay, now what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I find some solace and some comfort? And so the fourth floor atrium is being renovated so that we're able to actually provide a safe and calming place for people. And it's going to be phenomenal because we're going to have a surgical tracking board, and basically it would be if Jodi Abbott is in for surgery and a family member of mine is there, they'll be able to look at the board JA and they will know, am I in recovery? Am I still in surgery? where am I at in the process? And that's really, really important, because what happens is, as a family member, the person you love is somewhere, you don't know where they're at in the process, and you're worried. So that's the 4th floor atrium. The other is the new simulation center, and we're building a new simulation center. It's going to cost close to $10 million to build it. And what that is an area where clinicians, so it can be social workers, it could be nurses, it can be physicians, can practice care before they do the care on you and I. And that's really important in new areas of care. So it allows them to go in, do something really complicated, and sometimes fail. And they can stop the procedure and have a conversation about how could they do it differently. And so it's a really great place. I think the other thing with simulation is, if you were in hospital and you're leaving hospital after having, let's say, major surgery, and let's say you have a drain in you, and you're trying to figure out, oh my gosh, how do I deal with this when I get home? It's a place you can practice with your family members, so that when you go home, it's not quite as scary.
Wow. Those would both be absolutely amazing and make a very large impact,
They
I can
will.
imagine.
They certainly will.
And so, coming back to the Festival of Trees, how long has it been operating?
So 38 years. So we started in 1985, so a long, long time. And we've raised over $23 million in that time.
It's actually so cool, because I recall going to the Festival of Trees to sing with my choir in elementary school.
Yeah.
And I remember we also learned to make like finger casts. Like
Yeah.
That was an event that we did.
Yeah.
And now, coming back so many years later, I see all the amazing work that the Festival of Trees and all of that can achieve, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. It's kind of a cornerstone in our community, and it's very much a kickoff to the holiday season.
Especially because I think the Festival of Trees does a great job of providing events for everyone. Because I know you have family-friendly events as well as more elaborate parties.
Yes, we have elaborate parties, and we have Santa's breakfast, which is very much a family event.
And so, aside from the Festival of Trees, does the UHF host other fundraising events that the public can participate in?
We sure do. So in the month of February, we do Heart Month. And as you know, we have the Mazankowski Alberta Heart Institute, which is one of the best in Canada. And so we do Heart Pledge Day, where we spend a day raising funds, but we do all kinds of activities during the month of February. We also have other activities that people can support us in, like Full House Lottery, and that will be launching soon. And that is a fundraiser through lottery, where we can raise money that again goes into clinical care and research.
And where can people find information on those events?
The best place to go is to our website, which is give2uhf.ca.
Perfect, thank you. And so you do a lot. So what would you say is the most difficult part of your job?
Well, juggling, because we do a lot. And I think it's there are so many needs in healthcare, and it's trying to prioritize those needs so that they can be attractive to donors and that donors can support us. So that's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity for us, because it means that there's a lot of ways that we can engage with our community.
And on the flip side of that, what would you say is maybe, I don't know if easiest is the right word, but like most rewarding and kind of best part of your job?
I think the most rewarding part is when you actually raise money for something and it comes to be. And if we think, for example, of the K Edmonton Clinic, the K Edmonton Clinic partly exists because Mr. Donald K made a tremendous gift to us, because we spent a lot of time in the relationship. And as a result of that, there's a direct impact to patients. So at the end of the day, it's not only about raising money, it's about making sure that patients benefit from the new services or new research that occurs.
And so just a couple more questions here for you. Is there a moment in your career, which I know has been pretty broad in regards to what you've done, but a moment that really sticks out to you as like a key moment in maybe shaping the career that you are in now, or maybe the person you've become? Just maybe it was a past soiree or a past moment with a patient, anything that comes to mind?
I would say, to me, part of what shaped my career is having had a very early child experience where someone said something was not possible. And so I've been very driven to make what's not possible possible. And I think earlier in my career, creating a new strategy for an organization and finding out 9 years later the strategy, we had outgrown the strategy. We needed another strategy because we had grown so much. And I think what's neat at the University Hospital Foundation is we have a strategy that we built 3 years ago, Ignite 2030, and it is about being a catalyst for health system transformation. And as we do events like we're doing today with Silver Bell Soiree and Festival, it allows us to actually be that catalyst, and it turns into a patient benefiting. So those are the rewarding times in a long career.
And I think that's very inspirational for anyone in a position where they're growing up, they want to be something or want to do something, and then you hear, that's not possible, maybe you can't do that. And then you're a prime example of like, you heard it and took it to the other end of like, no, we can, we will, and
Yeah.
greatly
And we do.
achieved. Yeah,
And we do,
exactly.
and I think it's really about the effort of a community to make something happen, and knowing that the answer no is not an answer, right? It's like, no, we'll figure it out. So
I love that. That's awesome. And so my final question here for you, not necessarily career oriented, just in general, what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
that you can do anything you want to do. I really believe that, and that was a piece of advice given to me by my mother at a time where I was told I couldn't. And it was kind of lift your head and show the world that you can. And it's not going to be easy. It won't be easy. But just keep being persistent, dogged determination, and have tenacity to just make things happen.
To anyone out there who feels like you can't do it,
You
wise
can
words,
do it.
You heard it right here. You can do it. Thank
For
you
sure.
so much.
You're very welcome.
So hi, I'm Ken Brisbane. I'm with the eSIM simulation program for Alberta Health Services. Right now we're going to fundraise to go build an 11,000 square foot sim center at the hospital. It's going to have 7 rooms, state of the art. And one of the things we're going to put in it, we've got some mannequins here that we'll introduce you to. This is the SimMan 3G, one of the mannequins that's going to be in the sim center, and we're fundraising for that tonight. So with this mannequin, we actually trained dozens and dozens of people during COVID on how to use the video system so that they didn't have to be down there while they were doing it. So they'd be able to stand back a little bit further, be able to use the video laryngoscopy here, and be able to do that whole procedure a little bit safer for themselves and a little bit safer for the patient because they would be able to do it quicker. Right, it would almost guarantee the first time you do it, it's gonna work, right? For that, so we ran dozens and dozens of simulations across the province on how to do this, and then we ran them again on how to do it better, and then we ran them again until we got it to the point where like, oh, it's about as good as it's gonna get with this. And so by the time we actually got the actual patients in there, we were able to say, okay, this is safe for the patient, it's safe for our staff, and it's gonna enable best practice for that. Yeah, and this all with like this isn't a particularly advanced simulator for it. So the simulator we had over there that you saw that blinked and everything, that one is a way more advanced than this one. So with that one we can actually give them a hard day at it. This one's pretty easy. Yeah. That one. We can do stuff to them. So we can swell up its airway and we can make it much, much more difficult for this, even to the point where they might have to do a surgical airway on it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat in there. And there's just a couple of simulators that are going into the center.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the things is one of these for the center that we're fundraising for. Again, none of this stuff is free, so it does cost. Another thing we're actually looking at is a sonography simulator.
Okay.
So this one, we're able to take these little dots and put them on any simulator. And so now, if you watch the monitor there, we can actually do ultrasound
Oh, that's so cool.
on them. And it's actually pretty simple because all these are just little RFID antennas. So we put them on any simulator and it just
That's so cool.
recognizes it where it is.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking at his heart and I'm showing that there's fluid in the pericardium, in the sac that surrounds the heart. And that's all on this simple simulator.
Yeah.
But I can take these and I can go put it on that more advanced simulator. And now we've got a scenario that involves them, trying to diagnose using all of the tools that they would normally use.
Yeah.
Because he's also got all the cardiac monitoring and all of the functions that go with that.
So cool.
With that, we bring the whole team together now.
Yeah.
And so we've got, physicians, nurses, allied health, paramedicine, who are all able to train on the same situation at the same time, all using their different perspectives and skill sets.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
All right, everyone, here we are still at the Silver Bell Soiree, and we are speaking with Jenna Donovan. How are you doing this evening?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. Can you start just by telling us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am just graduated from my master's in counseling psychology, so I'm working as a therapist at the Alberta Wellness Center for Eating Disorders. I'm also a personal trainer at Evolve, and I do Muay Thai kickboxing in my spare time, and I have two really cute little French Bulldog Boston Terriers.
Aww. So you're very busy is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I am very busy.
And what are the names of your dogs?
My dogs are Mr. Duke and Penelope.
Aw, Rochelle loves dogs.
They do. They're the
She'll have
best.
to see a picture after.
Yes, yeah.
And so how long have you been coming to the soiree?
This is actually my first year. I'm very excited to be here.
And why do you think it's important that the Festival of Trees holds the soiree?
I think it's awesome. It's such a nice night for everyone to get to dress up and come together for a really, really good cause. And it's kind of nice to have a bit of community at this time of year.
Absolutely. And so my understanding, based on some information we got prior to, is that you were hospitalized originally for pneumonia, which led to the discovery of something more serious. And so you ended up having some care at the Mazankowski Alberta Heart Institute. Would you, if you're comfortable, just speaking a bit about that experience?
Yeah, so I had pneumonia, and when I had pneumonia, they said that it sounded like I had a little bit of a heart murmur, so we had to go down that road and kind of see what else was going on. What they ended up finding was that my aorta was actually too small, and it is a congenital heart defect. So it's something I was born with, but we just didn't figure it out until I was a little bit older. And so then eventually I went over to the University Hospital, and I had a few attempts at correcting it. There were some issues with that, and then I ended up having open heart surgery at the Mazankowski about a year and a half after that happened. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a whirlwind.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense time. Yeah.
And how old were you when that happened?
So I was 19 when I had pneumonia, and by the time I had my final surgery, I was just before I turned 22. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm 23 right now, and you are incredible.
Oh,
and
thank you.
having to go through that, I'm so sorry, but
Yeah.
also you're killing life right now.
Thank
so
you.
like congratulations. with
Thanks.
all
Yeah,
that you've done.
it was a pretty intense time, but definitely taught me a lot about myself that I probably wouldn't have learned at that age. So I'm grateful for the experience and grateful to have been here to have that experience. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so when this was all originally happening back when you were 19, 20, that sort of time, how did you handle the situation, I guess?
Yeah, so at first it kind of just felt really surreal. I don't think I really processed it too much. When I started having the complications, that's when I really had to lean on my family and friends and really try to find my supports, because it was a really challenging time. I just really leaned on those people who were in my corner, and that made a really big difference.
For sure. And also the amazing care you got, I'm assuming, at the
Yes,
Mazikowski.
yeah. Like I said, I'm grateful that it happened here. Like we do have such good facilities, and we have such great healthcare, and the doctors there are amazing. So, yeah, really, really good hands there.
No, for sure. My dad has also had open heart surgery at the Mazikowski, so
Yeah.
like, you guys are twins.
Yeah.
We have a really amazing care system there, which
Yeah.
is really beautiful and incredible, and I hope one day everywhere in the world can have a place like that, because I know, especially when it comes to the heart, you only have so much time to fix the issue once it's found.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said, my doctors there, even when things weren't really going right, like things weren't going my way, I really did feel like they had my best interests at heart, and I really felt like grateful for the team that I had. Also, like the little healing garden in the Mazikowski, I spent a lot of time there, and very, very lovely.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so you were so bright and positive, like you're so sunshiny. Just
thank you.
Side note.
Yeah.
But do you have any maybe advice or words of encouragement for anyone who maybe is in your situation, has someone who's going through a similar situation, anything like that?
Yeah, I would say to really, really be compassionate and patient with yourself, try to be as kind to yourself as you can be, because it is a really difficult situation, and like beating yourself up about it or really trying to like force yourself to feel better won't help. You kind of have to just like be in it and just focus on getting like 1% better every single day, and really utilizing your support systems. Like I said, family, friends, getting that extra support from like people outside of your circle, that makes a huge, huge difference. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you, for being so open and vulnerable.
Yeah,
Because
no
I know this
problem.
obviously isn't easy to speak about. Like,
Yeah.
that's a very traumatic thing that I'm just
Yes.
like, so these are my questions on a sheet of paper. So,
Yes, yeah.
thank you. We appreciate your honesty and
thank
vulnerability.
you.
And
Yeah.
I know someone who's watching who might need to hear it.
Yeah, and if I could just help somebody out who's in the same situation that I was in, I think that is excellent, and makes it easier to share my story when I know that it might help somebody else out. Yeah.
And it's just so beautiful too, because I know like people go through hard things, and then you kind of want to shut out the world and be like, I don't want to talk about it, anything like that.
Yeah.
But then hearing that someone has been through something that you've been through, or hearing that someone kind of can relate to you,
Yeah.
it's that help, of like, oh, I'm not as alone as I felt
Yes,
like I was.
it definitely makes you feel less alone. And if I could make anyone feel less alone at that time, it's such a hard time, that's excellent. Yeah.
And so moving forward with the University Hospital Foundation, you've been, to my knowledge, you've become involved with an event called Heart Month.
Yeah.
Can you speak a bit about that?
Yeah, so Heart Month is just an excellent thing that they do every year to raise money for the Mazikowski. I obviously think it's very important that we raise money for the Mazikowski, because I've used it before. I might need to use it again in the future, and I think it's a great place, and I'm so grateful that we have it. So definitely focusing on getting them more resources is a great thing.
And so for Heart Month, how can people get involved and donate?
Online they have areas where you can donate.
And so my last question here, it doesn't have to be specific to any situation or anything like that, but what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life is?
Best piece of advice I've received. Just to keep going through things. I think that utilizing those hard moments, like I use this situation so many times in my life. Anytime, I have to do a presentation or talk in public, you know? I'm like, okay, well, it wasn't as hard as that, and I made it through that, so I can keep going. It is kind of a thing that I can keep using in the future to kind of push me forward.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I used to work at Dairy Queen.
Oh, nice.
And when I first started, the hardest thing in the world was blending a blizzard. And so I put in my head, I was like, if you can blend a blizzard, you can do anything.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
reminds me exactly of that, of
Yes.
like, just keep moving forward. If you can do this, you can do anything,
Yeah.
which is hard at times, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's exactly like you said. If
Yeah.
you can do it, you can do anything, and
Yeah.
that's what you can take and carry with you.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, here we are at the Silver Bell Soiree speaking with another two amazing individuals, Kelly Scott Gray and Laura Kinghorn. And can you tell us a bit about yourselves?
Yeah, we're both friends from Edmonton.
We definitely are.
We really love Christmas.
We love Christmas, born and raised, proud of our city.
Yep.
Yeah,
Those are the important bits as it relates to this.
I think so.
Amazing. Is Christmas your favorite holiday?
By far.
Yeah, agreed.
What is it about Christmas specifically?
It's festive, it's fun, it's celebratory, and it's formal.
And I think you can celebrate Christmas for such a long time, so you get to celebrate with friends and family and do fun things with your kids, but also do fun things with other members of the community. And I feel like it's a time that brings everybody together.
I was going to say that. You get to get dressed up, have fun, be with people, which we all missed for a couple years there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Christmas is great. And here we are at a very Christmassy event for the Festival of Trees, the Silver Bell Soiree. Can you tell us about it? What is it?
Go for it.
So the Silver Bell Soiree is obviously supporting the University Hospital Foundation. It's part of the Festival of Trees, and it's really, we think, the most fun event of the entire holiday season and kind of the official kickoff of Christmas.
Yeah, we kick off the holiday season in Edmonton, raising money for the the University Hospital Foundation. And it's just such a fun way to get the season started, and we think about it all year, so it's nice to have it happen at the beginning of the season.
That's right. It's our labor of love all year.
Yeah.
And so who is hosting the soiree this year? Or like emceeing it, maybe that's a better question.
So we've actually had the same MC since the foundation of the Silver Bell Soiree. It's been Ryan Jesperson. I consider him a friend of the soiree and someone that we just really like having as a constant for us. Our audience loves him, we love him, and he's really proud to be part of it.
That's so nice. And so the cause this year, we were learning a bit about it with Dr.Jodi Abbott. She was telling us about the simulation center as well as the fourth floor atrium getting renovated. Why do you both believe this is an important cause, or these are important causes?
I think in a general sense, we are so lucky to have like strong healthcare in our country, and what I think a lot of people forget sometimes is that there's such an endless amount of requests and need, and there's such a finite amount of resources, and sometimes feels like it's too finite. And so one way we can work to affect change in our healthcare and with our community is by having a fundraiser, getting involved, and trying to make a difference there. The Simulation Center is obviously a great training tool for anybody who's looking to work in healthcare and who's coming up. And I mean, I'd rather have a surgeon practice on a dummy, you know? And then the fourth floor atrium really needs kind of a uplift. Laura spent some time in the hospital when her brother was sick, and it's nice to have like a nice place to be. And while it might seem like less exciting or whatever, it's just kind of makes a big difference.
I have to agree. I think that having the atrium and a space for families that probably don't want to be there, but somewhere that they can actually feel safe and have privacy or have some tranquility during what's probably a really difficult time, I think it's incredible.
Absolutely. And especially too, because just like you said, they don't necessarily want to be at the hospital. Nobody wants to be there, but sometimes you're in the situation where it's like you have to be, and you're spending copious amounts of hours there, you know, waiting for a loved one, visiting, whatever. And so having a place that makes you feel a little less at the hospital is like heartwarming in a sense. What would you want people to know about the Silver Bell Soiree if they don't know anything about it?
If you've never been,
We're so proud of it.
we are. We love it so much.
Yeah.
We want everybody to know that it's a cocktail party, and it's just meant to be like a really fun time for a good cause. It's a great excuse to get dressed up and see your friends. And
Yeah, I agree. I think, when we created the event, we really wanted it to be something different. We didn't want to do the same thing as everyone else. And when we thought through the names and we came up with soiree specifically, it's because of what it stands for. And it stands for, it's a fun, mixing, mingling, entertaining. You're going to dance and you're going to party and you're going to get to know people. That really felt like something that we could, jump behind. And it's unexpected.
Yeah.
And it's every year it's always different. We love having people year after year always be surprised and shocked.
Yeah. We try and come up with something unique or a couple things every year that we change. Surprise and delight is our goal.
Perfect.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Is that the saying? Because, we are honored to be here. Like, genuinely, we walked in and we were like, oh my goodness, it is beautiful. Everyone here is stunning, but it's just a beautiful space with beautiful people and like a beautiful cause, and everything is just outstanding. I'm like, this is, yeah.
The city shows up.
Absolutely, they do. That is one of the things we were discussing of like how many people there are here, and it's just amazing to see. Is there a past soiree that has really stuck out to you?
Oh gosh, all of them?
I do love that, but last year I think,
Yeah,
because it was the
COVID.
first time after COVID that we all got to be together again.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody was we were all so excited that like,
true.
we were obviously excited,
Yeah.
but everybody was excited to be there and be back together.
I have to agree. I think last year was really special, and we just keep trying to outdo ourselves.
Yeah.
But last year was special, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And
Post-COVID.
hopefully this year too.
It will be. It will be.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through the event itself and like the atmosphere, like what you're wanting guests to come with, walk away with, that sort of thing?
Well, I'll start with that one.
Yeah.
So we really want people to walk in and, again, feel special, feel excited. And once you walk in, everything is just there for you to experience. We want you to turn a corner and see something you didn't anticipate when you were, buying your ticket for the event, but you were thrilled, you were excited. It's all entertainment, it's all fun, but it's all for such a great cause. But it's really important to us that people walk away thinking, I didn't expect most of that.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Like when you walk in, you get your welcome drink in a unique way, and when you turn the corner, maybe behind a curtain there's something that you didn't expect. And you walk into a photo booth, but it's not a photo booth. Like, and the music is awesome. And
Yeah, we're really proud of the entertainment.
Yeah.
And people really wanting to work with us is always flattering. Yeah.
So how long has the soiree been an event at the Festival of Trees?
well, minus COVID stealing time from us all, we started soiree in 2018. We bumped into each other at another university event, and I've always come to the gala with my family, and just thought, why not have a cocktail party here? That would be super fun. And bumped into Laura, and I was like, you know who else loves Christmas?
Me.
That girl. Will you join me? And then she did.
Yeah, it was an immediate yes. I do a lot of work with the university, and then to do this as part of the University Hospital Foundation, it was an absolute yes. We are both, again, we're such good friends, but we're so fanatic about Christmas, so and we like planning. We like planning events.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it all came to be. Just
Exactly
Yeah, it
how it
just kind of
happened.
worked out that way for us. So, yeah.
before the Silver Bell Soiree, because to our knowledge, you're both involved, or were both involved with the University Hospital Foundation prior to.
Not me as much. No, Kelly got me involved.
Yeah.
Started with her.
And okay, so that answers my question then. I was going to ask, what made you want to volunteer with the University Hospital?
My answer is Kelly. Go ahead.
I think the University Hospital specifically for me, my mom worked there when I was growing up. I was born in that hospital, and it's always been there for us when we've had, nobody, as we said, nobody wants to end up in the hospital, but everybody ends up needing to be there sometimes, or a family needs to be there sometimes. So having experienced that, and having, I've grown up with that. My parents have always led us to be supportive of those types of causes, and so
Give back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
giving back to the community, and this feels like a good cause.
It is. It's something that we're so proud of having, I think, just in our city. Having something so world-class, so respected, it makes you almost happier to live here because we do have the UHF.
In regards to the soiree specifically, I can see just from walking in and around, there was a lot of work that went into this. This is a very large-scale event, a stunning one as well. But what would you say is the most difficult part of organizing such a large event?
Oh my goodness. Every year it gets easier. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
we feel like we've fallen into specific roles which work for us. We work so well together with our co-chair, Sarah Knopp, who's amazing, she's probably making it function right now behind the scenes.
Yeah, she definitely is. But between the three of us, so Laura and Sarah and I, we kind of divide and conquer, and every year we've figured out a little bit, like, I'll take this, you take that, and then we also have an amazing committee that really supports us, and like friends in the community. Just random friends will help us out, like
that might be
put
the
up
answer.
some
It's
random crafts.
It takes a village, might just be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're full of ideas, but we need help executing.
Exactly. And every year there's something that we learn and something that maybe is more challenging or more rewarding, and we don't really know what that's going to be until
That's right.
today.
Tomorrow
Maybe
morning
tomorrow.
we'll start again.
Yeah.
And so on the flip side, we talked about the difficulties. You were briefly almost starting to talk about the rewards, but what would you say is the most rewarding part of it?
Oh God.
I think just
much.
bringing people together to support a cause that we believe in, and hopefully, like, to use a kind of silly term, but like friend raising and making other people aware that, like, hey, a lot of the special aspects of healthcare in our community are privately funded, and we're so fortunate to have such philanthropic individuals in the city that help us to have better healthcare, but it's like literally never ending.
Yeah.
We need so much, and we could just keep going and asking for more always. So.
And it's great to get people involved through something so fun and so festive that might not have otherwise been part of this kind of philanthropy. So I think that's another part that we're proud of introducing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so my last question here, not specific to the soiree or Christmas or anything we've talked about, but what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
Oh, I love that.
Whoa.
I can answer that in an instant.
You better go first then.
All right. So my grandmother, who's 97 years old, said to me before I got married, begin as you intend to continue. So I always try and keep that with me because I think that's like the best piece of advice. Put your best foot forward and show up in your best self and keep it that way.
Okay, I got mine. That was excellent, by the way. Mine is if you can make someone's day, you should always do it. And that can be absolutely anything. But if we all lived that way, it would be a better world.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down and speaking with us.
Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. We
Thanks
appreciate
for
you being here.
Hey everyone! Welcome back. We don't look all dressed up anymore because we are the world's worst videoers of our recap videos.
Yeah.
So it's a new day today, but we just finished at the Silver Bell Soiree. It was super fun, so amazing. Everyone was so nice and looked absolutely stunning.
And honestly, probably some of the best food I've ever had. That was so good.
Yeah, the food looked insane.
Shout out to the caterers.
Yeah.
We're not sure who it was. Shout out to Mikiko for setting it all up for us.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful human being. And everyone that we spoke to was so kind and so sweet. And it was so much fun. There were so many like secret things that we found out about, and
Yeah, it was really
places and picture spots. So
And a great cause as well.
Thanks guys.